Okay, fine. Put it for recording, okay? Good morning, all. In today's session, let us have the second concept of your module 1, that is the we will deal with the propagation constant gamma. In the previous discussion, we have seen how a transmission line can be represented in the form of a differential equation applying KVL and KCL. By making use of those equations, we used some mathematical modifications. We did differentiation with respect to t, with respect to z, with a little bit substitutions and all those manipulations. We got two equations, pair of equations. You can see it on the screen. The pair of equations, these two are the pair of equations we got. And after that, in order to find the solution for that, we went for auxiliary equation. Depending upon the roots, as we got two different roots, we have written the solution for V and I. And after that, what we did, as this V plus V minus I plus I minus, they're all constants, we can have throughout two constants only, because there are two simultaneous equations. Whenever we go for a number of unknowns, finding number of unknowns, it is convenient for us if we have two equations, we can find two unknowns. Okay, if there are three unknowns, we should have three equations. Likewise, if you see, we have two equations, V and I. But however, how many constants are there? Four constants are there. So in order to change this, in order for finding these constants easily, we can express this I plus and I minus in terms of V plus and V minus. We did that in the previous class. Okay, with that, we got these things. We have represented I plus in the form of V plus. We have represented I minus in the form of V minus. Then after substitution, we got pair of equations. You can see we have only two unknowns. So two equations, two unknowns. Further, how you can find the solution? Still you can continue if initial conditions are given to you. If initial conditions are known to you, you substitute that and you find V plus and V minus. Now, let us see how to find the expression for gamma. Gamma is propagation constant. However, gamma is the combination of alpha and beta, attenuation constant and phase constant. So, the title is expression for alpha, beta, and even wavelength. Okay, wavelength is very important for us. We are working on higher frequencies. So, wavelength lambda is comparable with the length of the transmission line and the velocity of propagation, the velocity with which the wave is propagating. V and I are propagating electromagnetic waves. Okay, to start with, at microwave frequencies, this is very important to note. We are working at microwave frequencies, higher frequencies, not your, what you use in your laboratories, which are you work on low frequencies. But at microwave frequency, the condition or the observation is whatever reactances exist over the transmission line. What are the reactances? XL and XC. What is XL? R plus J omega L, and XC G plus J omega C. So these reactance values at microwave frequencies, these values out of which these L and C, what we are talking, the second imaginary J term, whatever consists of L and C, those values are, inductance value is very large and capacitance value is very small. This is very important observation which is made at microwave frequencies. What is the observation? At microwave frequencies, in the reactances XL and XC, L and C values, okay, inductance and capacitance, inductance value is very large and capacitance value is very small. So if that is the case, if we assume this condition, R plus j omega L, if this value is very large, what will happen to the resistance value out of these two parameters? This is a bigger term, say 1000, 2000, 3000 something, and R is in 0.0 or 1 2 like that. Compared to the second term, first term is very negligible, right? So we can write like this: R is very less compared to the second term omega L. I have not taken J here. J indicates imaginary part. Similarly, when you go for the capacitive part, G is very much less than omega C. So this is the condition which exists at microwave frequencies. Fine. Now let us go for propagation constant values. How to find it? While dealing with the transmission line equation solution, we have already defined what is gamma. Propagation constant is given by square root of zy. We have already defined it. Z is the impedance, y is the admittance, and z is r plus j omega L, y is g plus j omega C. So we have defined this already. So let me start with the gamma equation and do some mathematical simplification. Okay, if I do the substitutions, let's see what will happen. Gamma is equal to square root of zy or root of, I have substituted z and y. Then in the next step, what I'll do, j omega L and j omega C. Let me take common. See, first bracket I have R plus j omega L. In this, if I take the second term common, j omega L common, so I'll have 1, okay, because this is common, 1 plus R. You don't have any j omega L here, so I will divide it by j omega L. So that when I again multiply this inside, see, these two gets cancelled, again I'll get R back. Got it? So if I take the second term j omega L common, I will get 1 plus R divided by j omega L. Similarly, let me do it for G plus j omega C. If I do the similar kind of thing for G plus j omega C, take j omega C common, second term, I'll be left with, this is common, so 1 plus G as it is. As you don't have j omega C here, let me divide it by j omega C. So that when you multiply this to both the terms, you will get this original back. See, these two gets cancelled, you will get G back. Right? So the second term will be 1 plus G by j omega C. Further, square root of j omega L, square root of j omega C. What it will be? Square root of j square omega square L C. I will put all these together and write it separately for my easiness. Okay. Now remaining are two brackets. Which are those two brackets? This is one thing. Two brackets are 1 plus R by j omega L and 1 plus G by j omega C. Two brackets, but remember we have a square root. Square root means what? The power will be 1 by 2. Okay, that's why if you observe, I have written here the power 1 by 2. Okay, now I can apply binomial expansion for this particular, these two bracket terms. There is a condition for binomial expansion. If you know, 1 plus x raised to n, something like this, this x value should be, there is certain condition. If that condition is obeyed, okay, if it is obeying, then only you can apply binomial expansion, binomial theorem. Okay, try to know what is that condition. In particular, I cannot give you the statement for what is the condition. Even I have to go through it, but please try to know what is the condition in order to apply binomial theorem. Okay, now applying the binomial theorem, gamma is equal to square root of j square. Square and square root gets cancelled. I'll be getting j only. Then omega square and square root, 2.5 cancels, omega only, and root LC as it is. Now let me apply the binomial expansion for the first term, first bracket. Binomial expansion 1 plus n. What is the power n? Power is 1 by 2 divided by not divided by n into only n into what is the second term? I am applying the binomial expansion to this. Okay, let me write it for my easiness at one place. Raised to 1 by 2. Okay, for this I am applying 1 plus n is the power, okay, into the second term r by j omega l, second term, then plus the third term will be n into n minus 1. Okay, n is power 1 by 2, n into n minus 1 divided by 2 factorial into the second term square, r by j omega l square. What will be the third term? Third term will be plus n into, I have not written the third term, only two terms I have written, n into n minus 1 into n minus 2 divided by 3 factorial into whatever second term you have, r by j omega l, its power cube. Like that it continues. Okay, this is the expansion. First 3 terms I have written, 1 plus 3 terms I have written, and so on it will continue. Similarly, let me do this expansion for the second bracket. 1 plus g by j omega c raised to half. N is half. Okay, so again expanding, first term 1 plus n into n is half, second term g by j omega c raised to 1. Okay, that's fine. Plus next term n into n minus 1 divided by 2 factorial into second term square, plus one more term I have not written, I have simply just given here dots, but you can write it further, n into n minus 1 n minus 2 divided by 3 factorial into second term g by j omega c raised to cube, and so on. Okay, only first two terms I have written square only. So these two using binomial theorem I can expand it. So you should know what is a binomial theorem first for this. So please have a look at it. What is the condition for that particular bracket term 1 plus x raised to n. Okay, what is the condition? What should be the condition for n? There is a condition, then only you can apply the binomial theorem. Okay, now let me come back to our discussion. So I have expanded two brackets here. Okay, you can see it. the square bracket I have put, and outside j omega root LC. Then, okay, so let us continue. The simplification. What I have done here is, in the next step, you can see in the previous, the third term, 1, and second term is half r by j omega L, and the third term, if you see, calculate half into half, it will be very smaller value. Why I am telling it a very smaller value? First of all, you have a power here, okay? So your denominator will have L, so 1 by L square, and you have put a condition at the initial stage. At microwave frequency, there is an observation that the reactance L value is very large. So जब denominator बहुत ज़्यादा रहेगा, so 1 by very bigger value will become a very small value. So I can neglect the all higher order terms, remaining all. You can just consider first two terms only. Even in the second bracket also, you can consider only first two terms. Remaining all terms can be neglected, because even though you calculate them, their value is very negligible compared to the first two terms. Okay, for that, what I will do, I will consider in those two brackets only the first two terms. Okay, by making use of this, neglecting the higher order terms, what we get, we will see. J omega root LC as it is. Neglecting the higher power terms, I will consider only first two terms in the two brackets. Then it is just like a plus b into c plus d. So expand it. So you will get four terms here. If you expand it, first you multiply 1 with 1, you will get 1. Then 1 with this, you will get this term. Then third term, r into this, you will get this. And last one, you will get this. Four terms. If you multiply two brackets, you will get four terms. If you observe in again these four terms, the last term, it has got both L and C in the denominator, R and G in the numerator. Again, neglecting the last term, mathematical simplification, okay? Only first three terms let us consider. This is as it is, j omega root LC. First three terms only I have taken, the last one I have neglected. Anyhow, frequency is higher. Very high frequency means 1 by denominator high frequency value. So very negligible term. Even L is also very large, negligible. The last term, this value will become very negligible, very small. So after this, you will get first three terms. Then if you see, here there is one term and here there are three terms. So multiply this with all the three. If you multiply this, see, first term will be j omega root LC into 1, and second term j omega root LC into r by 2j omega L. Okay, j term gets cancelled, omega term gets cancelled. You will be left with r by 2 square root of, see, r by 2 square root of, you will get LC, okay, square root of LC into 1 by L, right? Further, how you can write this? R by 2 as it is, square root of LC, write as it is, and denominator root L can be written as root L into root L, right? If you multiply root L into root L, you will get L only. One, this cancels with this. So you will get R by 2 root of C by L. Okay, that is what I have written here, R by 2 root of C by L. Similarly, what will be the third term? Let's see. third term j omega root LC into third term g by 2j omega c. So j omega terms gets cancelled. You will be left with g by 2 root of LC as it is and 1 by C. Similar to the earlier calculation, you can do this also. Root LC as it is. You can write C as root C into root C. One root C gets cancelled. You will be left with G by 2 root of L by C. G by 2 root of L by C. Same thing we have got here, right? So this is how we get three terms for gamma. LHS is, we are calculating this for gamma. So gamma is equal to these three terms we got. In the earlier discussion, we have already defined gamma propagation constant, a combination of real and imaginary part. This we call it attenuation constant, this we call it phase constant. So if you see, whatever value we have just now got for gamma, even that has got two parts. One is the real part is this much, and this is imaginary because j term is associated only with the first term. बाकी के जो second and third term है उसमें j term included नहीं है. So all together second and third term, it is a real part. Only first term j omega root LC is imaginary part. So just rewrite that equation. Real part, put it at one place, second and third term, and whatever imaginary part, that on the next second third term. Okay, so if you do that, gamma is alpha plus j beta. Now LHS and RHS you can compare. What will be alpha is equal to and what will be beta is equal to. So what is the next step? By comparing the LHS and RHS, alpha is this real part, r by 2 root c by L plus g by 2 root L by C. This is alpha after comparison. Beta is omega root L. Okay. This is the expression for alpha. Many times based on this, either the derivation will be asked, derive or the expression for propagation constant, attenuation constant, phase constant, all this all together. Or many times the data will be given L, C, R, G, these primary constants, distributed parameters, values they will give you in the problem. They will ask you to calculate alpha, beta, gamma, all these. So in order to calculate those, you should know what is gamma equation. Gamma is how much? Alpha plus j beta. It is a bigger term, right? What is gamma is equal to? Here it is. Gamma is equal to this much. But please don't by heart it, because you will definitely get confused. If you can remember the equation, it is well and good. Otherwise, simply remember that gamma is given by square root of zy. So from this, you can, do that whatever calculation we did, and we can arrive at this. It will hardly take 2 minutes. No doubt explanation took 40 minutes, but however, your derivation will take, थोड़ा practice हो गया तो 2 मिनट में आपको ये equation मिल जाएगा. Just don't by heart the equations. Okay? Now, this is propagation constant, then alpha and beta, that is attenuation constant, phase constant. So we got three things. Now, an important note, in the previous discussion, when we were finding the solution, I had used one term called characteristic impedance Z naught. I had even told you what is the value of characteristic impedance. Anybody remember the value? While dealing with the previous solution, orally, in the last few minutes, I uttered one value for Z naught. Anybody remember that value? 125. No. Okay. You took it wrongly. What you have typed is wrong, but maybe मैंने जो pronounce किया था उसको आपने गलत तरीके से ले लिया. I pronounced it as 120 pi. It is not 125. It is 120 pi. 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 Okay, Samina, well done. At least आपने सुना था. Good. Okay, fine. The value of characteristic impedance Z naught is 377 ohms or 120 into pi, pi. Okay. Now let us calculate that also. Before that, you can see it here in the previous discussion. We have used that Z naught is equal to root of Z by Y. Because यहाँ पे हमको लास्ट में रूट y by z आया था, तो रूट z by y रेसिप्रोकल इज z नॉट. तो रिमेंबर, जैसे हमने गामा के लिए रूट ऑफ जेड वाई मल्टीप्लीकेशन लिया, जेड नॉट के लिए आपको रेशो लेना पड़ेगा z by y. Every procedure is same. What you have to do? You have to take the ratio of z and y. Here what we did, we took the multiplication. Here you need to take the ratio. Let's calculate that also. Okay, let us start with the characteristic impedance part. So we know that the Z naught is given by square root of Z by Y, ratio of impedance by admittance. So let us take it. Z is R plus J omega L, Y is G plus J omega C, taking the ratio. And similar to the earlier derivation, here also what we will do, second term, the imaginary term, R plus J omega L. In this bracket, we will take this common. J omega L, we will take it common. You'll be left with 1 plus R by J omega L. Similarly, in the second bracket, if you take J omega C common, you'll be left with 1 plus G by J omega C. Earlier, ये जो दो bracket हैं वो multiplication थे, यहाँ पे division होंगे. After that, you can see J omega cancels, root L by C will be left out, and these two ratios, okay, that I have written, root of this is nothing but what? Raised to 1 by 2 power. Earlier also we have done the same thing. Now there is a slight change here. In the denominator, if you see 1 divided by, it is something like this, 1 plus G by J omega C. This is square root. So what will be the power? It is something like this, 1 plus G by J omega C, this raised to 1 by 2. Okay. If I take this power to the numerator, what it will become? It will be minus 1 by 2. If I take this bracket, it is something like this, 1 by x square is nothing but x raised to minus 2. Okay. So something like that. So the power will be negative. Earlier both powers were half, but here it is half and minus half. Remember, this is a slight change here. With that, what will be your further using the binomial theorem again, root LC as it is. So first term you know already, we will get 1 plus R by J omega L, R by 2 J omega L. Okay, so the first bracket is same, what we get it for binomial expansion. See here, this bracket we will get it same. In the earlier discussion also, whatever we expanded, we neglected higher order terms, we got only first two terms. With that, we will get only first bracket as this. So I will write it as it is directly. You can, expand it and you can write it, no problem. And what about the third term? Earlier, we will get 1 plus G by 2J omega C. This time we will get negative. Why this negative sign? Because the power is minus. That's why when you take the expansion, 1 plus, 1, you will get minus, plus, minus, alternate positive and negative signs you will get in the expansion. So neglecting all higher order terms, you will get only first two terms. So there is a change. Earlier it was positive, now it is negative. This is the change. Okay. With this change, let's just the next step is simple multiplication and getting the answer. So if you multiply these two brackets, you'll get four terms with some sign changes. Earlier also we will be getting four terms only. Now again higher order, we will not neglect it here. You can see what we get it. 1 plus, I'm expanding two brackets, we will get four terms. After that, in the second and third term, we can take half common. If I do that, remaining terms are this r by j omega L minus g by j omega C minus that. So what I will do, instead of neglecting only this term, in earlier case, only last term was neglected. But in this case, the altogether these terms we will neglect it, because at microwave frequency, what was the observation? If you see, you have numerator Rg. Okay, fine. You have numerator Rg. So numerator very smaller value, denominators are larger. So very negligible value you get. So because of that, neglecting all the three terms. If you neglect all the three terms, you will be left with only one. Okay, in all four. So outside root LC. So what is Z naught value? It is equal to square root of LC. Fine. So we have today taken the concept of propagation constant, finding the equation for propagation